You go 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, you're a professional, you get on ESPN, you're 19-0, like, what were you thinking?
I'm just seeing my family do better. Said my dad quit cold turkey, no help. Was at
Yeah.
the gym every day from that day that I saw him until I left the
So that was a huge
went to
motivation
prison.
for you.
Oh yeah, I'm watching a lot of my family members besides my dad and them quit. I'm watching some friends and their moms be able to stop. So my goal is to, I had one thing, one mission, and that was to beat Roy Jones Jr. and be the world champion. So that was my motivation. So every fight that I trained, I didn't care who the guy was fighting. I trained to beat Roy Jones Jr.
So everything's going the way that you have envisioned it, and you're kind of leading the way in your community. How in the
Mhm.
world does this nightmare land on you? What happens when your worst fear becomes your reality? Hi, I'm Brent Cassity. Welcome to the Nightmare Success In and Out podcast, where we explore how to overcome your fears and nightmares and set yourself free. We're going to be exploring this topic with guys I was in Leavenworth with and others who survived their own nightmare. These stories can be inspiring, sometimes sad. There's some humor, but hopefully you can come away with a nugget of something that'll help you knock down some of the prisons you built up in your own mind. All right, welcome back, Nightmare Success and Out listeners. This is where you come from. What happens when your worst fear becomes your reality? How do you adapt, survive, overcome, set yourself free? Folks, don't forget to share this thing out, like it up, subscribe. It's all good stuff. I appreciate it. It really helps the show. So, who are we talking to today on Nightmare Success? Well, I have been excited about this guest for a while, and Charles Duke Tanner has been all over the news. So, my guest is Charles Duke Tanner, and his story hits like a freight train, powerful, painful, inspiring. Charles Duke Tanner was a rising star in the professional boxing world, undefeated at 19-0, fast, charismatic, on the edge of greatness. He was being trained by Angelo Dundee. If you remember, Angelo Dundee was Muhammad Ali's trainer, so he was in the thick of it. At the height of his promise, life took a dark turn. He was sentenced to 2 life sentences on his first time offense, nonviolent drug conspiracy. 2 life sentences for first time offense, nonviolent drug conspiracy. Prison didn't take away his fight, it refined it. Inside those walls, Charles rebuilt himself mentally, spiritually, emotionally. He became a leader, a motivator, a man of faith. And against all odds, he made history, receiving a presidential clemency in 2020. That brought him home after more than 16 years behind bars. When he went away, his son was 2 years old. When he got out of prison, his son was in college. Um, then a full presidential pardon this year in 2025. This story is unbelievable. I'm sure there's going to be a movie about it. Today, he's back in the ring, this time fighting for people, purpose, and redemption. Um, we're going to talk about the fall, the isolation, the transformation, and the comeback, and what mission he's on now with what he's doing with communities and building back better communities just because of what his motivation and how he's able to do it. I can't wait to jump into all that. Before we do, I want to recognize our show sponsor, Auto Plaza Direct. Who likes spending a couple of weekends walking car lots looking for a car. Then you spend 4 or 5 hours in the dealership to buy a car. It's kind of like a root canal appointment. Well, there's a better way to take away all that pain and hassle of getting a car. It's called Auto Plaza Direct. They're your personal car concierge. Just tell them the car you want, what you can pay, and they'll go find that car for you. Negotiate your best price. They also offer you warranties and financing. It's all full service. Go to autoplazadirect.com to get started with your personal car concierge, the new hassle-free way, the car buying experience you deserve. Autoplaza Direct. Tell them Brent from Nightmare Success sent you. Folks, I want to share with you a powerful and moving new book you won't want to miss. My Name is Saffron. Voices, silenced, stifled, and taken away by author Saffron Gustafson. This isn't just a story. It's a journey through resilience, survival, and reclaiming your voice after being silenced for far too long. Saffron's story takes you inside the hidden struggles, the pain, and ultimately the triumph of refusing to be defined by circumstances. As Saffron was putting the finishing touches on her book, the prison she had just been released from, Federal Dublin FCI, was permanently closed because of sexual abuse of the women prisoners. If you've ever wondered what it takes to rise from the darkness of places, to find your truth, and to speak it boldly, this book will inspire you. Pick up your copy of My Name is Saffron today, available now on Amazon or wherever books are sold. Trust me, you'll be moved, challenged, and changed by her story. All right, Charles Duke Tanner, how are you, my man?
Man, I'm blessed, man, and highly favored by the one and only Jesus Christ.
That's great. You are, man. Your story, I mean, reads like a movie script. It's unreal. I was thinking, I know you're from Gary, Indiana,
Yeah,
Duke. What was when you were growing up as a kid? Because everybody kind of knows Gary, because that's like where Michael Jackson and his family was from, and so
yeah.
it's a town in Indiana, but is people know it. What was life like for you growing up as a kid?
You know, with me, it was different. Gary wasn't like it was when Michael Jackson was there. You know, I was born in 1980, so I come up in the town and in the era where Gary was crashing, and a lot of black communities was crashing because that's when the crack epidemic came and hit. And in the 80s, it hit hard.
Yeah,
So from the time that I can remember, going from six to my teenage to the early 90s, people was really going out, getting strung out, on the drugs and abusing them in a real bad way. So, it was turning into a lot of violence. It was turning into, the different gang members was, making their marks and they wasn't organizations at the time. They was really gang members. So it was like these people don't like these people, and then, the money played a part in it because, like I said, the crack epidemic had came. So it was a real violent situation. But, I came up in a two-family household where my mom and dad was there. I'm the youngest of 10, the youngest boy of 10.
10?
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, 10 yeah, 10 in a four-bedroom home,
Wow.
really three-bedroom. We built the other room. So, but we made it, and it was love, especially as an adult. As a kid, I went through some things because I was had to grow up like in a militant kind of stage because I had the older brothers and I was a little one. I wanted to be around, and the closest brother to me is 6 years older than me. So imagine I'm six, he 12. He don't want to hang out with me.
Right.
So I couldn't cry. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. Get your boy back up and go back out there and go fight him back or quit crying. You can't go. And my parents was abusing the drugs and alcohol. So
Mm.
I felt the loss of love to some point because I was a kid and I didn't know. But as I got older, I realized it was a disease and my parents loved me and they did the best that they could at that given time. And that's a message I get to a lot of people. And we get
Did
to
you
my story a little deeper. I explain to you why I feel like some things happen like how they did.
Yeah. Well, I was curious with all those things that were going on in your life and this big family, how in the world does a kid get into boxing?
It was my love for my dad. My dad loved boxing. One of my older brothers used to fight, and when he stopped, it like which I never asked, and to this day I don't even want to know.
Mhm.
But in my heart, I believe that my brother stopped boxing because my dad was abusing the drugs. So he was just like, maybe he think if he bagged up that he'd quit, but it made me want to fight, so he'd quit. So it was like an opposite, I believe. And my brother went into the streets as well, at that age, and it just turned things around. So I was using boxing and like make my dad come to the gym, make him pick him up and hug me, and
Mm.
do all these things, and it didn't work. It didn't work for a minute, but I used that anger and upsetness in the ring and to learn how to be better and not to be the vicious fighter to like go on and hurt people. I used it to craft the skill. Like, well, let me learn how to do this so I can come home, fighting. Of course, yeah, you get in there, you knock the guy out, that's look beautiful. But I want to come home like, Dad, look, I can slip this punch and I can do
Yeah.
this, and I can look how fast I am, or
Yeah.
look at this, I can throw two left hooks, and to pick it up. And he acknowledged it, but it wasn't like with my brother. My brother, every day my dad went to the gym. That's how I got to tag along with him.
Yeah.
And when he stopped, it was just like the coach said that he saw it in my eyes from even a kid. They picked me up to hit the bags and stuff like that. He said he's gonna be the one.
Mhm.
And he had two sons fighting at the time too. His name was Bill Murphy. And he used to tell everybody this gonna be the last guy I train and he gonna be a world champion.
Wow, and with all the other craziness that was going around you with the streets, was it like you were almost like living 2 different lives, Duke, with
No, because
going
I
to the
wasn't
gym and then going out and
no, because I wasn't in the streets. Uh, I was surrounded by everything based on my block. So I
right,
came home, I lived it,
yeah,
and even in my household. But that's the part that you're gonna get to the case about that's gonna be, so crazy. And I believe that's why the president dug into my case and did what he did because my whole life, man, I was in the gym. So I used to go to all the tournaments. I was winning.
mhm,
I ended up joining the PAL program and we was out fighting every weekend. In the eighth grade, I end up I got into a physical altercation at school for this guy messing with my sister. And so I went to the high school and me and him got into a fight and I beat him up and I didn't supposed to be on high school grounds. I was in junior high, but he had pushed my sister or whatnot down. And I told him, like he shouldn't do that. And he, one thing led to another. He swung at me and didn't know how to fight. And I got in trouble for it. So I was suspended. So I ended up going to a boxing match with the older guys at the Power Club under John Taylor at this time. And I was just the bag boy taking the equipment for them because I
right,
was suspended. And, so I went and they were short a fight. And you had to be 18 years old to even be over here or
okay,
whatnot. So I used to have to go really sit in the locker room with the bag and everything, or go somewhere and sit and not really move around, or help the coach at the ring with the bucket. But it was a fight short, and the guy was like my weight. He was like 20 years old. I'm 13, and my coach like, Duke, you want to take this fight? I said, yeah, I'll fight him.
yeah,
K denied. How I'm gonna go home and tell my dad I denied a fight?
right,
I went in there, I stopped him in the second round with a body shot. Boom, he quit.
13
So
years old.
I was 13 years old.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's something
So the
else.
next night, so it was at the Union League downtown Chicago. I'll never forget. Gentleman Cigar Club, and all the guys was going crazy because they could tell like this is a kid, you know, and to where they didn't want me to take my headgear off after the fight because I looked young,
Yeah,
no facial hair, no nothing. And one of these guys grabbed me after the fight and was just like, "Hey, how old are you?" So I didn't know what to say out loud. It was like I'm 18, 17. Then he was just like, "No, you're not," because I said 18, 17. I said 17 and 18. He was like, so I guess they went and said something to someone, and they came back to Coach Taylor and said, "Hey, man, everybody wants to see this kid fight again."
mhm,
But at the moment, we don't know no young kid to bring with. He fight another older guy.
yeah,
The next day, they bring me back. I fight a 21-year-old. Same thing, beat him. So the guy name was Robert Wiseman. He was a lawyer. He said, "Hey, you take my card and you tell your parents to call me because I know exactly how old you are." So I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble.
mhm,
So I come home, I tell my dad, like, hey, I fought this guy. I fought this guy the next day and I beat him, dad. But like this lawyer dude want to call me. So my dad eyes trickled, but he was more like, you're not in trouble.
mhm,
They probably trying to do something with you far as money wise.
mhm,
So I'm saying to myself, like, well, we need some money, but I don't need to give it to you is what I'm thinking. So I talked to my mom about it. At this time, my mom had left the drugs alone. And I said, Mom, nobody graduated. None of my brothers, none of my cousins, none of my uncles with the last name Turner. I said, Mom, I'm gonna walk the stage. I'm gonna be the
mhm,
first one to get a diploma. On my dad's side, I'm gonna make my granddad proud. You got my word on it. So if these guys offer me some money, tell them to send me to this private school. It was a private school at the time. My son's mom, we was childhood boyfriend and girlfriend, and
mhm,
she was going off. She wanted to used to always say like, I want to go to this school, but it costs so much we can't afford it.
Mhm.
We from the projects in Section 8. So I'm like, if I could pass this test, I can get into the school bond. So if they offer me anything, I'm gonna ask for them to pay for that. It's
Mhm.
like 4K a year plus books and all of that. So the guys came out there, said, "Hey, what do you want?" And I shocked them. Stood up. I said, "I want an education." They said, "You want a what?" I said, "I want an
Wow, and what
education."
were you, 13 or 14?
I was 13 years old, getting
Yeah,
ready to
yeah,
go to my
okay,
freshman year,
yeah.
and they said, "You want an education?" I said, "Yeah, I want to go to this school right here." They said, "Well, if you pass the test and miss the test, we'll pay for it." They set up a fund called the Friends of Duke Tanner, and they set the form up. Bam, I went to school, and I
Wow,
graduated in 1998, and was set off to my professional career.
wow, that's quite a story. Um, so when you got it I mean, you were probably leaving your neighborhood and going to this private school. Was How was your life in that
It
school?
changed everything. It changed everything. You know, predominantly, um, low percent of black people there, but all the people of all races, they took me in, they helped me, they worked with me. Some of the teachers used reverse psychology on me, told me, "Oh, you ain't gonna be nothing. You don't want to. Oh, you're gonna be a fighter." Because now I'm winning real big. In '96, I ended up going to the Junior Olympics, World Games, and winning a bronze medal.
Mhm.
Should have won the gold. I thought I beat the guy, but he went on and he won the gold. So that made me number 3 in the world as an amateur. I was picked to be on the 2000 Olympic team in Australia, and that's when they sent me to go see Angelo Dundee when I graduated high school.
Mhm.
It was before I graduated,
That's such
and
big stuff, dude. I
yeah,
mean,
but and this is the part that really changed my life. When I came back from San Angelo Dundee, I was rushing to see my dad, and I knew he used drugs, but I never saw him. It's a
mhm,
whole difference. So I run to one of my friend's house, and he in the basement, and he lighting the crack pipe. So I ran into him, knocked it down, and the look that he looked at me with, like he wanted to kill me.
mm,
And I said to myself, like, I don't want to hit him or whatnot. My dad was tough too, though, but out of respecting my dad, I wasn't gonna hit him.
mhm.
But he grabbed me and grabbed each other. Then like we let each other go, and I just ran home. And then he came home and he talked and he said, "I'm done." I said, "If you quit today," I said, "I'm turning pro. I'm not going to the Olympics. I don't want to go to the Olympics. Um, I'm done. I'm not fighting no more amateurs fights." This was like March of '98. I
Okay.
graduated that June. So I stopped fighting for the rest of that year, focused on school, graduated on the honor roll, and walked across the stage. And turned pro November 27, 1998 that year by
Wow.
myself. No, I didn't get no big, huge contracts. The guys that paid for me to go to school was upset because they wanted me to go to the Olympics. But I didn't want to tell them what I was really going through at home.
Mhm.
So, it was embarrassing. So I just said, "Hey, listen, man, I got to fight." At the time, my childhood girlfriend was pregnant with our first child, but she ended up having a miscarriage. She ended up going off to Clark in Atlanta. And I turned professional. I started fighting. But during that time coming up, I was in all these different neighborhoods and everybody running through the streets. So everybody knowing me. So now not only do I got my family on my back, I got my friends, and now I got the whole city of Gary.
Yeah, you're
Like,
like
hey,
Rocky.
and we come out and listen though. I come out, they couldn't even make me the first fight because they were scared everybody would leave the arena
Mm,
from over
yeah.
the main event. They had to make me second to the last fight on the main event for a 4 round fight. It was so bad they had to change my fight from 4 to 6 rounds. So normally you do fours, you do about 5 or 6 4 rounders, then six, then eight, then 10, and 12.
Mhm.
I never did a 4 round. I started off doing 6 rounders because I said, I don't care, I'm in shape. I could fight 6 rounds. And it ain't going that far. I stopped the guy in the second or third round, stopped him in the third round.
I
So
mean, did you Duke, I've always watched boxing, grew up, I'm 58 years old, so I grew up in the Muhammad Ali era and, Sugar Ray Leonard, all these, fighters that were so big.
mm,
When you got into a ring, was there ever a time where it was like You were scared to get in the ring, or was it always like, "I know I'm better, I'm gonna knock this guy out?"
No, the hardest part of the fight every time is walking to the ring to me.
Yeah.
You get the same I get the same feeling every time. Like the feeling just hit me now just thinking about it.
Mhm.
It's that walk to the ring and I can explain it, and I've done this walk so many times to where even that walk when I was walking to that federal prison through that
Mhm.
yard to the first time, you get the same feeling, get the butterflies. But once I come up under them ropes and I stand up, it's do or die. Now it's me and him,
Mhm.
and that's the same feeling I had every time.
Mhm.
So it's like either you're gonna beat me, I'm gonna beat you. Either I'm gonna knock you out, or you're gonna knock me out. Somebody gotta win,
Somebody's gotta win, and you won a lot, and you didn't lose.
right? No,
What
yes.
what was going through your mind? You go 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, you're a professional, you get on ESPN, you're 19-0, like, what were you thinking?
I'm just seeing my family do better. Said my dad quit cold turkey, no help. Was at
Yeah.
the gym every day from that day that I saw him until I left
So that was a huge
went to
motivation
prison.
for you.
Oh yeah, I'm watching a lot of my family members besides my dad and them quit. I'm watching some friends and their moms be able to stop. I'm
Mhm.
enjoying it every day. So my goal is to, I had one thing, one mission, and that was to beat Roy Jones Jr. and be the world champion. So that was my motivation. So every fight that I trained, I didn't care who the guy was fighting. I trained to be Roy Jones Jr.
So everything's going the way that you have envisioned it, and you're kind of leading the way in your community. How in the
Mhm.
world does this nightmare land on you?
I wasn't making enough money. And, people thought boxing brings so much, but it don't.
Mhm.
I'm making $100 a round, $200 a round. I'm selling a lot of tickets, so I'm making a little extra money, but, you know, it wasn't coming. And then now I got a kid for real.
Mhm.
So, I mean, being in the neighborhoods, knowing all the tops, all the top people in the streets was coming, the ones coming to the fights. And it was bringing peace to the neighborhoods to where it's like, well, we're not going to disrespect Duke at this event. He's going to be the key to the city. And it really slowed the violence down to where now people are coming to see me fight. And now they're really getting to know these dudes.
Mhm.
Like, really ain't a bad guy.
Mhm.
Maybe we could do business or maybe we could do this. And I'm seeing this too, what I mean? I'm not dumb. I come from here. I know what's going on. And I said, hey man, listen, man, let me be the bridge between that through the guy, Herbe Solis. And he was the guy that was, bringing all the drugs in. I didn't want to go to the regular guys. I went straight to the top.
Mhm.
I said, man, just let me do some drop offs for you. He was like, oh man, yeah, please. Because now I can go into every neighborhood and he's not worried about it. And I would just go drop the bags off. And one day I opened it and I shouldn't have opened it. And the opening the bag got me greedy. And it's like, I came back and I said something like, hey man, I was first taking the book bag. Now I'm taking 2 gym bags. You're trying to do the same amount. I need more.
Mhm.
And he realized it. He couldn't not stop now. And, he pretty much tripled my pay. And now I'm locked in. Things are going. And, I want to get out. And I was done. I was like, man. And then he called me he got in trouble for something he did. Nothing to dealing with none of the other people who he was making me take the bags to or nothing. But, he cooperated and he told on all those guys.
Mm.
But he got no dealing with those guys. He can't call them and it'll look crazy to them if he called and took them a bag.
Right.
They only wanted to see me because they
Yeah.
trusted me.
You were the go-between.
So the federal government needed me to say he gave it to him, and him. And
Mhm.
I was responsible. I said, no. I said, I took the bag that I was here to pick up after I told him no, and he like pretty much tripled the price again on me to really help him out. and all this on the wiretaps. And I wouldn't do it. I said, I'm responsible for that. I want to take my time for whatever is in that bag, you know. And what was supposed to have been in the bag, I should have got 3 to 5 years being the maximum.
Mm.
And I ended up with 2 life sentences.
Okay, so let's talk about that because that's one of the things that just blows my mind about this story is that it's a conspiracy, it's a drug conspiracy, it's a first time offense, and you get 2 life sentences. I mean, Duke was
So
it
it was powder cocaine.
okay, but I mean, I get it, but
It shouldn't have
it's
happened. It shouldn't have happened, period. Like
okay,
we talking 5 years.
how in the world did it happen? Was it just the craziness of the of not having the right counsel or what happened?
Man, listen. I used to cry about this and used to complain, but a lady I love dear, I love her with all my heart. She called me her son. It's Alice Marie Johnson.
Yeah.
Um, Sharonda Jones, out of Texas. Those women had the same amount of time I did,
Mhm,
but the same thing, a word of mouth.
mhm.
And based on
A lot of time they call it
how
ghost
this
dope.
ghost dope and how this system is created, I want to use those 2 women, and it made me stop complaining in the inside about my time and had me to learn to fight, stay faithful, and ask God to help me get out of it because the system was broken, and that's just what it was. It was broken, and I watched those women, from the newspaper articles and stuff and fight, and they would stand strong with children and being women. I said, how can I be in here crying on top of the amount of men that had the same thing? And then everybody say, well, Duke, this was your very first arrest. Say it was Miss Alice's first arrest. It was Sharonda's first
Yeah.
arrest, but
Duke, here's the thing though, I mean, you get something like that, you go to trial, you get 2 life sentences, um, you're not going to a minimum security federal
oh no,
prison, you're going to a maximum, or a
right.
medium that's like the jungle world
I went straight to,
it's
I,
gladiator school.
I went straight to USP Terre Haute in Indiana
Yeah.
where when we walk into the walk to our unit, someone ran up on somebody in the line, start butchering them right then and there. Like telling everybody, get down, get down. I'm like, I'm not finna get down and somebody make a mistake and stab me, but somebody else and the guy next to me, one of the guys that knew who was on the yard, that knew I didn't know, ran over there and grabbed me, like, get down, boy, because they're gonna start shooting in this tower in a minute,
Mhm.
thinking you a part of it. So yeah, I went from never being, but I fought the case for 4 years. Took 2.5 years to go to trial, and it took them almost 2 years to sentence me because the judge didn't want to let go of my case. Judge Rudy Lozano. I felt like it was more personal, like with those guys. But then I come back as a today, and I just said this was all a part of my calling. This is bigger than all of us, and that's why I don't complain
Mhm.
because he waited till he got both of his legs amputated, then came back. I mean, not one leg, both came back where the bandage was still not right. He's in there. It was proven on record. He's up there nodding off through key testimony in my sentencing off the painkillers.
Wow.
How could you come and sentence me like that? You guys had it in their mind. They had it in their mind. And then at sentencing, the week before I was get sentenced, they stopped my sentencing. And the prosecutor said, hey, this day when we came in, this was going to be the last day of witnesses. And he came over to our table. He asked to speak to my attorney, Andrea Gambino. They went out and talked before the judge came in. So when she came back, she just said, she grabbed my hand. I will never forget. She said, whatever God you are praying to, keep praying to him because I never heard of this in my life.
Mhm.
So I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, hold on. So now the judge come in. They roll him in. And the prosecutor's time would say, "Hey, we would like to ask for a contention. I mean, we would like to approach the bench." They go approach the bench. Him and my attorney, they get to talking. He tell me to stand up, but no, he say first, "Are you sure?" To the prosecutor.
Mhm.
Prosecutor say, "Yeah, I'm positive." He tell me to stand up, and he said, "Well, today, young man, um, it's gonna. Well, I'm gonna stop this sentence today and let you go speak with your attorney. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? I go back. She say, hey, they asked to talk to you. I said, come on. What is it to talk about? I done lost trial.
Mhm,
I've been gone 4.5 years, almost 5 years. What is it to talk about? I don't want to talk to them. I'm not cooperating. She
mhm,
was like, dude, you don't have to say anything. They want to talk to you. I'm here now. I said, all right. I come in there. He said, hey, we think we think you know something about a police officer. No, at first they said, if you say that, explain what we did to you at trial to say that it was the truth, you walk out the door, pretty much. Or we'll fight to get 10 years. I've been down 5. They say, well, we think you know something about a police officer. I said, man, I don't know nothing about no. Now I say something. I said, man, I done got found guilty already. And I don't know nothing. I don't know none of this. I just want to take responsibility for what I did.
mhm.
He said, is you stupid or what? We're trying to help you. He got up and walked out the door. So now he go back and say, he changed his mind. At first, he wanted to be able to give me a chance to reconsider my sentence and not fight for life because he felt that the judge was going to give me a life sentence. He felt like I didn't deserve it, and the new laws had came
Mhm,
in already while I was waiting and to give me the new laws. But he could have done that because it's upon the judge's discretion. But instead, he wanted me to come in line, say some things, and do some things to get 10 years.
mhm.
And depending on how I could have lied, the lawyer said I probably could have walked out the door. So I said, I know. So instead, he went back and tried to make it look different. And I could show it. I wish I had my
There's
sentence
so many
transcript.
people that would have done that.
Nah. So one thing about it is, at the beginning, I tried to take full responsibility, and they used that to try to make it seem like I cooperated or wanted to cooperate.
Mhm.
And I want to take my responsibility without saying nobody name.
Yeah,
This is what I came
this
to
is
do
just me,
for
right?
me and my people. I'm doing this for my people.
Mhm,
They got nothing to do with this. So they got so upset about that because they thought that I'm the one that got the career, I got money,
mhm,
and this, that, and the other. I'll just make it easy. No, you
mhm,
got the wrong one, homie. So then when they come and do it the second time 5 years later, when I'm knowing I'm finna go ahead and get life.
mhm,
That's the pressure that they put on me. And I said, well, no. And I told my lawyer, I'm going to stand up and say something about this. And I told the judge, it's on court record
mhm,
and my citizen transcripts. And I said, hey, Your Honor, this guy told me at the beginning that they wanted to talk to me and they asked you that they wanted to do a joint motion to help me get sentenced under the new guidelines.
mhm,
And then he get back there and tell me what I had to lie about. And I'm not gonna lie to you and hurt nobody else to help myself. And what did I say that for? Oh my God, that
mhm,
pissed that judge off. When he sentenced me,
mm.
he, I know it verbatim, word for word. You show no remorse, Mr. Tanner. My um office tried several times for you to help yourself, and you chose not to. And my lawyer, like, she said, objection, Your Honor. What do you mean, no remorse? That's not being, it's no victims here.
Mhm.
There's nobody hurt here. He wasn't, and please don't do this. He said, if you say anything else, I'm going to hold you a contempt of court.
Wow.
Gave me life on both counts
Man,
and send me to a maximum
I
security prison.
Duke, what goes through a man's mind when something like that happens?
The paper said I turned around and told my family to calm down. I got it. I'll see you guys soon. That's what happened. I went to prison.
What were you
Uh,
thinking about? Like, how old were you when you went to prison?
24.
24. So a 24-year-old walks into a maximum security prison. Like, what was your mind? What was your mindset like walking in there?
That time,
Plus, you're kind
they
of
really,
known too. That's
yeah,
when you
but
have,
but
but that's different. A lot of people walk in anonymous.
yeah, but man, it was all designed, bro. Like, you know, um, it ain't a coincidence. It was designed. As I look back every day, it was just designed. I gotta I learned how to pray.
Mhm.
Like the 3 to 4 years that I was waiting, I
You
really
always
learned how
had
to
hope, never lost hope.
I'll never lose it. I was thinking about that 2-year-old boy I had left out there, and, I was watching myself lose everything, um, losing friends, losing some family members. And, I had to really learn how to pray and talk to God and saying, like, I'm not going to get it. I'm going to get out of here. So I start focusing on helping people because that's where I feel that I'm good at. So
Mhm,
I'm like, bro, you got to get up. You can't, I'm walking around here like these dudes, like some of these dudes, like some legends that I done heard of.
mhm,
They walking around here, they miserable, they angry.
mhm.
I say, bro, people scared of him. I'm playing with them, joking with them.
Yeah,
I brought life to them. And guess what? Half of them are home now.
yeah.
I
It's
brought that life
this
back
old
to
saying
them.
in the movie Shawshank, "You get busy living, get busy dying." I mean, I've watched that movie so many times, but it's so many words in it that they talk about, and one of the things that they talk about, if you follow the movie all the way through, Red doesn't have hope until he gets out and follows his friend's advice, and he rides the bus, he goes under the tree, and everything that he's talking about is, I hope," and then when it ends, it's about, "I hope," and that thing in prison, you can tell the guys it's a binary choice of people who have hope and people who don't. But I think one of the things that really was inspiring, 'cause I read a lot of stuff about your story, Duke. I thought it was really incredible how you were able to keep in your son's life while you were in prison, and you're in this dark place. It looks like there's no hope for you to get out, and you keep hope, but you keep in his life. You find ways to be a dad, and this show goes into 1,200 prisons, so it's how did you do that?
Listen, I wasn't gonna allow the system to make me be a picture on the wall or a voice on the other side of the phone.
Mhm,
Instead, I was gonna use every tool that they had to communicate with my son. Was it easy? No. But that was another thing that I prayed and I asked God wholeheartedly and more than once, please allow, no matter what's coming to me, let me have a relationship with my son. He's my best friend. He was the best man at my wedding. He got his master's at 22 right now. He's running an Amazon company where he took him from 2 trucks to 60
I
trucks
love it.
within 4 months,
I love it.
working 7 days a week,
Yeah.
driving an hour and 15 minutes to work every morning, and getting up at 5:30. This is my best friend. I go to him back and forth. He's my hero. And it was all designed and built inside a maximum security prison where I went almost one whole year without seeing them or touching them or, things of that nature. And then in the max, it got so bad, you can only get a brief hug at the beginning. They didn't even sit next to you no more. They sat across from you. So you got to like scream to have a conversation. But we together now. And, I tell men all the time in the inside, listen, if the mom not letting the child write back, or even if
Mhm.
the child not write back, still send a letter once a month, every 2 weeks, whatever you expect, as long as you got access to do it. And it's no, I can't get in trouble for reaching out to them or nothing, but continue to write those letters. And I found out when I got home, my son said what made him feel a lot like how he felt was my letters, the pictures I would send him, you know, and he would try to run game on his mom and try to say like, well, I got in trouble because my dad ain't here. I miss my dad. And then she'll go to him like, look what your daddy wrote you.
Mhm.
And he tell you don't use this as a scapegoat, so you're not doing it. You're being punished. And I'm finna email your dad now. So he'd be like, damn, he told me he should try to play the game. But
Mhm.
he said a lot of times he should go read my letters. And, I'm teaching him how to be a man from in jail through the mail because that's all we had at times with going on those lockdowns and things. And that's what to go into our business now. And with a great friend of mine now by the name of Adam Claus, I had created a program called the Core Four.
Which I wanna
And
give a
another,
shout out to Adam. He's the one that connected me to you, and
oh, yeah,
he was a
100%.
he was a guest on this show about 3 seasons ago. He was sentenced to 213 years in prison.
10 toes down. It's such a small community. The good men know about the good men no
Yeah.
matter what. And a guy who was in out of program came to me and to the prison that I was at. He didn't get to finish it. And he told me about it. He said he's seeing what I'm doing. And he like, man, Adam will love you. He will love that you was fired, you out here working out, you're doing this, and then you mentoring these guys, young and old, making them get their GDs, filing for the clemency form, getting people to go home. And he like, man, so he gave me the paperwork he had on the program, and I took it and I remixed it and I started using it and it started working. But I used it on myself as well and created myself to be classified as a certified coach. And it led me to getting to things done. It led me to where when I came out, by the grace of God, I got clemency by President Trump. And I used the court for to use it. And I said, I didn't have lawyer money. Obama had denied me on the clemency. I said, how am I gonna get out of here? So I picked 5 other top advocates, Can Do Foundation, Barry, like all these people, I'm writing them. They don't work together. But I said, I'm writing each and every one of them. And I would send them the same letter every Sunday. Sunday when the mail go out, I would send out 7 letters. And I started in 18, and
Or you
it's
sending it to
factual.
the White House too.
I sent one to the pardon attorney, one to President Trump, and 5 to the different
Mhm.
advocates. And I noted it. I made a note on this. It's on my Facebook post. Go back and look in like
Mhm.
2018. Anybody that don't believe me, you can't backdate the date. I had a dream. I had scripture that bagged it, and I said that President Trump was gonna let me out, and I said that I'm gonna do amazing things when I get out. I'm gifted to do that. God told me to write down everything. In the lack of faith, I didn't write, let me out immediately. Everything that I said get done immediately, it just flipped like that. But I did say, let me get out. So it came and I wrote these letters and bam, it happened. October 21st, 2020, I was allowed to get released by clemency. I didn't know what was going on. I'm thinking I'm finna go to the hole. It's like 10 police and
Yeah, because they never
counselors.
tell you anything when you're in prison.
Yeah,
It just happens immediately, like, you don't know what the
you
next move
can't.
is. Yeah.
So I'm on lockdown. So we on lockdown. So I hear the keys coming. I'm like, I tell him my cell man, I said, man, somebody can go to the hole. We
Yeah.
laughing about it. And the keys gets close by my door. So I'm like, whoa. They like, hey, Tanner, we need to talk to you. I say, all right, y'all know the rules with me. Come on, Sally, go with me.
Mhm.
I don't talk to the police without nobody.
Alone.
So
Right.
they say, nah, you going by yourself. So I'm like, okay, I know what this is. I'm gonna go to the hole.
Mhm.
So when I get to the back, I'm taking my shirt off, get ready for a script search. They say, calm down, calm down. We got to get you out of here. So one of the cops say that. So I said, get me out of here. Then the phone ring. Phone ring, they answer it. They like, huh? I'm like, what the hell? I get the phone. It's my son.
Mm.
He say, Pops, they did it. They headed to the airport. You coming home? Yeah. Hour later, bro, I was at the airport, man, hugging my boy for the first time on the outside. I thanked the president, man, and it went viral. And I came home pushing that fatherhood initiative and reaching out to all those advocates that did help me, and to
Well, dude,
Jack Bruce.
what was it like? I mean, that immediacy of knowing that you're getting out. I mean, usually you have a you know, some people get this kind of freakish thing where they know they're getting out in like 6 months and they try to start, getting prepared
Man,
to
it wasn't meant for me to know nothing.
No.
And it was just a feeling like it's
What
the
was it like
best gift
walking out
ever.
of there after 16 years?
Can't explain it.
Yeah.
To this day, you can't explain it. It's a God given feeling. I tell people,
It's
man,
not
that
that long
feeling
ago
right there.
either. 2020.
I tell people that feeling would probably be it may for sure it's the second, the first best thing to me that I know that I got a free gift, from Jesus to be able to be forgiven of my sins and go to heaven. The second best gift to me in my life, I think, was to be released that day and to
Mm,
get my freedom back to be able to go home to my son and my family and to do the things that I'm doing now. That's why I'm dedicated. And I partner with Adam and we create a legacy impact group to give back to people to make them feel like how I want to chase that feeling to people. I think if someone can get a glimpse of what I felt that day,
Yeah.
they'll change their life
It
and go
changed their
for the
life.
best thing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's take a break there because I want to, when we get back, I want to talk about all the stuff that you're doing now because it's not easy. It's not easy to get out of prison. Reentry is a hard thing. And the things that you've been able to accomplish in the short amount of time you've been able to accomplish is nothing short of just absolutely remarkable. Um, a lot of people don't like how they show up online. Many individuals think there's no hope when it comes to managing your reputation on Google. There is hope. It's called the Discoverability Company. And whether you're rebuilding your reputation from scratch, repairing your search results after a negative news story, Discoverability is your company. To learn more, visit discoverability.co. It's not .com, .co, and get $100 off with coupon code Nightmare Success. Call the Discoverability Company. Discoverability.co. And Nightmare Success Podcast is sponsored by the White Collar Support Group, the world's first support group devoted to people navigating the white collar criminal justice system. I'm a member of the White Collar Support Group, and I can tell you this is a bunch of people who help each other through the criminal justice journey for free. Whether you're starting your journey or you've made it through to the other side, this is a great space where you can join us on Zoom Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. For more information, go to prisonist.org. It's prisonist.org. So, Duke, you get out. And I mean, it's 16 years. Your life, there's a spans of life there you did a lot while you were in. You helped a lot of people out. A lot of people are home because of what you did. You make a connection with Adam Clausen. How does your world start once you get back into society?
Man, I wasn't out 3 days and I was picked up by um I get a call from a lady named Gail Wilson. She's working for the Blacks for Trump or something dealing in America First Policy Institute.
Mhm,
And Jack Brewer of the Jack Brewer Foundation, one of the biggest foundations for fatherhood and things. He watched my relationship with my son and saw the video that had went viral. He called me and wanted me to come and speak about fatherhood. And I took off from there speaking and I ended up at Liberty University. That's where I saw Adam at. They had me speaking on a panel for entrepreneurships for felons for second chance.
mhm,
And I was telling those millionaires, billionaires that was in the room, hey, listen, I pay my debt to society times 10
mhm,
for what I want to. So why shouldn't I be able to go to certain banks and create my ideas and do things, but they're gonna look at me as a felon and not support me?
mhm.
And I was leaving out. And of course, I had saw Adam for the first time. We only knew of each other. He said, "Man, you the guy that was still in my program." I said, "Man, you the guy that made it. Like,
Yeah,
let's go together." I tweaked it a little bit. Let's put something together.
yeah, finally.
From that day, we locked in, made a company within 30 days. But I get another interesting person. He's the tax guru. He just did the beautiful bill.
Mhm,
Um, he's the CEO and owner of Engineer Tax Services, Julio Gonzalez.
mhm,
I mean, he walks up to me. He said, "Hey, you keep your head up. You're supposed to be in this room.
mhm,
You're 100% right. I come from nothing. The baby boy of 18. I didn't go to prison. All my family did, but I understand it. Go Google me. I don't even know what Google is at the time. He said, Google me, but you give me your phone number and don't never change this phone number."
mhm,
And of course, I had said something about my son. He said, "You give me your son phone number too, because evidently he ain't gonna change his." And a year later, he called me and hired me, Johnny on the spot. Said, "You gonna work your way up in my company. You don't got no job yet. You ain't got nothing. You work my way up." And now I'm the vice president of community affairs for his company. I'm the face of the grant department for him. We have created based on his love and passion for what I want to do with the people.
mhm,
He want me to be able to do it in a just way and use his platform to do so. On top of he come from the struggle and he have helped so many Fortune 500 companies do certain things. So like just today, man, yesterday I got my full printout on how I'm helping to get grant readiness and funding this for the small businesses and the upstarting companies for the women and the men that's in these poverty neighborhoods and men and women coming home from prison, which is basically being in the pipeline of what me and Adam are doing in the inside to help the men and women come home. But it's one thing to help these guys come home and these women to come home, but it's another thing to get them a pipeline to the workforce development, a pipeline to home ownership. And by doing that, we're able to also use this new initiative that Julio and Engineer Tax Services gave us. And based on to get them ready, we're going to have the business information, the founders and the teams, the business overview, the financial information, and the support materials, as well as to the project funding. I broke all these down to categories. So therefore, I can give these to my people that's getting in contact with me. Get grant ready. I give you a free incentive report that from our company
Mhm.
to show you the grants that's available for you. If you're not ready even and you want to start a nonprofit, you click another link and we'll make a nonprofit for you
That's
and get you grant
huge.
ready.
Yeah, that's
So
huge,
that's
Duke.
that's grant equality. And Julio opened the company up just for me to get this. Not, I mean, he doing it for the people, of course,
Right.
but he's saying, Duke, this is your way to get back.
Yeah, I
You know
love
what I
it.
mean? And
And
I mean, this is
everything you're doing, Duke, is giving back. And you've had a big week. I mean, you were recognized in a big room with a whole bunch of people that uh, make change happen, and they were talking about you. Eric Trump, on stage, giving a huge shout out to you and your life and what you've done and what you've meant to their family. Um, Man, you've just you've not wasted any time. You have and everything that you've done, you've used your life experience to help exactly fill in the gaps of what are needed. It's like talking to Topeka Sam a few time she's on a couple months
great
ago.
woman. Great woman. I know her.
She's
That's my sister.
unbelievable, but she said the same things that you're talking about. You guys are finding the gaps and filling them. Find the gaps and fill them, and there's so many gaps that need to be filled because, we have a broken system. I also know you've put a lot of work into the Safer Supervision Act, which, both you and I were on federal supervision. I read that thing about you being so just, about,
Oh,
having to
no.
plan 5 days ahead to go see your kids. I had to do the
Oh,
exact same thing. The
guess
s
what?
St.
Guess
Louis
what?
was not in Columbia, Missouri, so I was just absolutely my teeth would grit when I wanted to go see my daughters.
You want to speak of that? I was just texting, by the way, Reform Alliance, my people. They created this. This is how broken this system is. I get a full presidential pardon in May.
Mhm.
I get this when I come home from my trip, just so you can see that date on there. No,
Okay.
December 4th. I'm just not getting my papers to say that I'm off paper.
Wow, and that was in May?
I was clear in May though.
Yeah,
When he signed the ink, I was clear. It
yeah,
killed my whole record.
but you didn't get the
But
paperwork until December 4th.
December 4th is right here.
Yeah, there it is.
Congratulations. It was in the mail when I came home.
Wow.
Me and Jessica was talking about this last night. So this right here stamps the Supervision Act. So whoever listening to this that's in any type of power or any type of big major following, follow the Safer Supervision Act. Go check it out, support it, vote
It's a
for
big
it.
deal.
It's gonna help so many people become better
Mhm.
because I won't lie. By the grace of God, once again, I know I'm highly favored and covered. My probation officer, I reached to her and said, I never got my paper. She said, Duke, I'm on top of it. Bam. 2 days later, I see I got it in the mail.
Mhm.
But she also was the one who said, Duke, I know you changed. I know you're doing better. And she knew that this hyper supervision was hurting me
Mhm.
because Julio, this type of guy, Duke, I need you here today.
Mhm.
Go fly. I'm flying you here today. You need to go speak in front of these people. I need you to come and learn this and do this training. I have to wait until I get past.
Mhm.
I miss some opportunities.
That's missing
I
opportunities,
heard
not creating opportunities, missing opportunities. Exactly.
missing opportunities that's putting me on the platform to be great.
Mhm.
Like the situation with Eric the other day. And technically, I would still be on supervised release because they
Right,
gave me 10 years.
right.
If I don't get the pardon, Julio called me like about 3 days before and said, Hey, I'm sponsoring this event for Eric. I think you should be here.
Mhm.
You know, I want you here. I probably would have missed that opportunity. And not only did I get to speak, and share my story.
Mhm.
But Eric got to release
Mhm.
some feelings that he felt about what he went through with his
As a
dad
family. Yeah.
as a family member. And I understand him because this is what my son said
Mhm.
to me. So for him to release that, I was more happy for that than anything that had to do with me.
Yeah.
My situation is one thing. My future is what I'm not worried
Yeah.
about, is what I'm keen to and what's going to make the big difference in the world. Yeah, we can say, yeah, Duke went through this and other. No, but Duke came home and he created a pipeline for the people that
Opportunity.
don't even believe in themselves.
Yep.
I believe in them, and I'm going to give them a God to every relationship that I have.
Yeah, and
And
he did it
the
in
safer
prison
super,
too. You know,
the safer
the things you were doing
supervision
in
that,
prison, you've taken out and beyond the walls. And I don't wanna forget, you've got a book out there, Duke Got Life, and
yeah,
he's gonna grab it right there.
yeah, I glad. Go ahead, finish.
But anyway, I was just reading little bits and pieces of it. I haven't read the whole thing, but
There we go.
there it is, Duke Got Life. I love the name of that too, Duke Got Life.
Yeah, that's gonna be the name of the movie. Also,
That will
we
be the
working on.
movie.
Yeah,
That will
it's
be the
gonna be
movie.
the
There
name
will
of
be
the
a
movie.
movie. This
I got
thing
the
writes
rights to.
itself. Um,
Like,
Duke, I mean, I love your story. I love what you're doing. It's an inspiration to all of us that have been through this and are trying to get through all the barriers for um, that the second opportunity in life. And you're doing it, and you're also helping and bringing a lot of people with you. What do you think is your biggest takeaway through all this that you've been through?
my biggest takeaway, man. Listen, man. I'm thankful for so many things. You know, I don't. It's just continued to grow. Like my life could. Someone just asked me, like, man, did you think this would ever happen? And I put some things down, like I said, that I wrote when I had that dream, but it didn't like it's on steroids, bro. Like, man, to be able to find a wife, you know, and to get two bonus daughters and a granddaughter, to be able to help, my son graduated college and, through my work with Engineer Tax Service and Julio,
Mhm.
I was able to buy him a car, and it guided him to say he didn't even tell nobody. He didn't ever stop going to school. He went right back so he can make sure he get his master's at 22 years old. And he just brought me the plaque the other day, and he said, "Papa, I want you to have this." So that, let alone the stuff that me and Adam got going down, that we're going inside the Bureau of Prison. But that's where we came from, to help Josh Smith make it better.
Mhm. And for those that don't know, Josh Smith is the deputy director of Bureau of Prisons, and he's a formerly incarcerated federal inmate. So
Yes,
it's
that's
the first time it's ever
amazing
happened.
things. He's doing amazing things for the Bureau. He's not being soft on crime, but he's being fair but firm, is the
Mhm,
best way I can explain it. And
mhm,
he's cleaning it up. But it takes all of us to work with him to make it better so these guys can really, really rehabilitate themselves and come home and show redemption.
mhm,
Adam was labeled as the most improved prisoner in the BOP history. That's my partner.
mhm.
That's who I own the company with. And every day
And he's got
I
an
try to make
incredible, partner, Roe, which if I don't
it.
know if Adam didn't have Roe, he wouldn't have gotten out of prison.
But everything's lined up.
Yeah.
And then now we're working together to do this. And once again, I'm always thank Julio because he has been the support to me and Adam, you know, in every way, far as knowledge, far as, putting us in the right rooms and it's all, and then, just teaching me things to where he'll call and tell me, hey, come and see me for 2 days.
Mhm.
You going to boot camp. He sit me in and teach me the company. He said, yeah, your department is the grants, but I want you to learn this side too. So you can have it. And he's willing. We just talked after me speaking in front of Eric and him. He said, I need another Duke to sign to my company. So for him to say that
Yeah.
he wants to help more people in prison. And he said, I'm so into this to where Duke, I'm quoting Julio Gonzalez. He
Mhm.
said, Duke, I want hundreds of thousands of you. That's what's going to make this world better coming from inside the system. And if they can test a certain level on my company with the things that my company do, I'm willing to hire them and I'm willing to fight to get them out of prison early.
Mm.
And he stamped that and put it in. He said, I'll put it in writing for you. But he said, my word is everything. That was our last conversation with me leaving him yesterday.
Wow. That's
You
powerful.
know,
That's
I want to
powerful.
say that again because it's powerful. He said, Duke, I need hundreds of thousands of Duke in this country. And if they can test at a certain level at any initiatives that's in my company,
Mhm.
I'm willing to hire them to my company the day that they get out of jail. But I'm also willing, if they are super above average, I'm willing to fight to help them get out through clemency, through the First Step Act earlier and give them a job. And he said that he meant every word of it.
Wow. That's huge.
So to me,
Way to go, Julio.
that's a blessing out this world to be able to be around great. And listen, this ain't just no regular guy. He's a billionaire
Yeah.
for one.
Yeah.
He helped do the tax bill. Uh, and he's for the poverty communities. He's for the small businesses. He want to get grant and tax equality in America. He
Mm.
said that's his legacy. That's what he want to do. His mom told him to do that and to help people.
Well,
You know,
if I was gonna say what your takeaway is, your resilience of and discipline of not giving up, you know, what it takes to do something with boxing and become great at that, what it takes to do to write letters every week and stick to it until you get something to what it does to reach out to organizations to make connections with those organizations so you become part of them knowing your story. And then when you get out, you connect with them. Those are the things that make things happen. Those are the things that things don't just happen on their own. You have to stick with it, the discipline of it and the resilience combined can really make but action is the thing. And that's what I see out of your story, Duke, is just you didn't quit. You didn't quit on yourself and you always took action to keep yourself forward. And when people told you it wasn't gonna happen, you still made it happen. And it's just one hell of a story. I'm so happy that you came on the show to be able to share this because so many people are going to get inspired by being able to listen to what you're talking about. Don't forget, folks, to go out and get his book, Duke
yeah,
Got
do got a
Life.
lot
Duke
to
Got Life.
the
Um,
Amazon.
on Amazon. And when you're out there, go get my book, Nightmare Success, Loyalty Betrayal, Life Behind Bars, Adapting, Finally Breaking Free. Wanted to give a shout out to Homestead Financial, who lets me use this podcast studio. If you got home mortgage needs, Greg Afdieff knows all that stuff. If you want to know more about what I'm doing, go to brentcassity.com. I spell it wrong. I spell it with a TY, not a DY. Also go to nightmaresuccess.com to see anything and everything of all the shows, along with all the other podcast platforms. As I used to say to my people when I was writing my emails back and forth from Leavenworth, stay strong. I'll do the same. Duke Tanner, man, keep doing everything you're doing. Just do more. Do more, man.
And please, guys, go to Duke Got Life on Instagram. If anybody out here hearing this that want to start a nonprofit, that want to get grant ready, please contact me. Let me fight for you. Let me help you unlock this free money. If you can't get to me there, look up Engineered Tax Services by Julio Gonzalez and just say, hey, where's Duke at? They'll contact me there, and let's make this country better, man. And thank you so much, brother, for having us. Adam, man, we love you.
We
Adam
love
made this
Adam.
connection together. Adam Clausen, man, he's a great man, I'll take my hat off to him. That's my big brother, and I love him, and we coming for you guys. We fighting for you guys on all levels. So, and we ain't quit. We get knocked down, we're gonna get right
Get
back
back
up.
up.
We real champions. Thank you, brother. And man, it was an honor being on the show.
Appreciate it, Duke. Nightmare Success in and out.